What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here, back smiling. Spurs have got 3 points.
Oh, what a wonderful day.
Oh, what a wonderful day indeed. The Tottenham had, they're calling it. The Yido had.
Exactly.
You know, it wasn't the deck he had yesterday, but we'll still call it the deck he had because he owns that stadium. Spurs own that stadium. And if only we could play there every week, pretty much. But
we should make our home stadium.
Yeah, we'll get into all the stuff about the game a bit later on. But first and foremost, how is everyone doing today? And I guarantee you the majority of people have got to have smiles on their face after the weekend we've just had. But we do have a bit of transfer news to bring you first and foremost. We're going to get into a Tottenham update. And we're going to talk about Luka Vuskovic up first. And on Luka Vuskovic, Romano said before the game yesterday that Hamburg are close to completing a loan deal for Luka Vuskovic from Tottenham. Negotiations are underway with an agreement set to be completed soon. Obviously, he was on the bench yesterday. Yeah, what do you make out of this one? Because he's been making pretty much both squads so far, which clearly states that there's a need for him if he's on the bench.
Absolutely, there is, because Dragshin's currently injured. I know we have Danso there, but at the moment, there is the need for him in case maybe a left-sided defender gets injured. I know we have Ben Davies, but it seems as though Frank sees him as more of a left-back than a centre-back. I don't think he's played centre-back yet under Frank, has he?
No. But you do kind of get the impression, though, like if Vuskovic was to go, he'll deploy him there a bit more.
I guess when it comes to Vuskovic, first of all, I don't know why it's taken so long to get this loan deal out of the way. Like, it should be a fairly simple one. If he wants to go to Hamburg, we're looking to get him a Bundesliga loan to get more experience. I don't know why it's taken to the last stage of the window. I don't know if there's negotiations over loan fees and all these different things, which I wouldn't be surprised. But I guess, does it mean one of two things? We heard that we'll only potentially send. We heard that we're looking to bring another left centre back. So, are we waiting to bring one in? Are we waiting to see the status of Kota Sakai and seeing if he's ready, or are we just going to send him out on loan without basically any recourse? Which is Spurs have done that before as well. So, I'm not sure which. What it means that he's sending him out on loan. Does it mean anything? Or are we just regardless going to send him out on loan regardless what happens with our centre-back situation? But I just don't want to leave ourselves short going into the season.
Yeah, what's going on with Kota Sakai? Like,
just injured.
What's going on? Like, no one's like.
Frank he doesn't mention. He never
mentions him. Like usually he mentions all the injured players, but no Kota Sakai mentioned ever in his press conferences. So, what's going on with him? Is he planning to use him as part of the squad next season? If Kota Sakai is being planned to use as part of the kind of backup options and rotation options, it does make a bit more sense. But he just never mentions him. So,
you wouldn't know we signed him.
Yeah, literally, because he talks about his new signings and never mentions Kota.
And even when in the press conference yesterday, he said Ali Gold asked him, "Do you think your squad is stronger this season than was last season?" And he said, "Well, we've lost Maddison and Son, and we've brought in Paulinho and Kudus."
Yeah.
So it's a kind of the same. I was like, "You brought in Kota as well?"
Yeah, I know. He literally said that, we brought in 2 players. That's what he said.
It's like as if I don't know. Does he not even consider an option? I don't know what's going on with that one. It's unless the injury is worse than we think and he's out for a lot longer. I don't know.
Yeah.
Which makes it a bit even stranger that Vuskovic would be going out on loan, though, if that's the case, if we're not bringing anyone in. But we have heard that we're looking to bring someone in, so maybe we're waiting for that to happen to ratify this loan.
Yeah.
And maybe it's like ready to go kind of thing.
Well, everything will be revealed pretty soon because not long left of the transfer window. Just over a week to go. 8 days left of the transfer window.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Which is crazy to think about because it just feels like there's just so much business still to do. Like Bissouma's still here. And we haven't got anyone out the door. Apart from Sonny, no one's left.
Yeah, everyone's still here who we thought we need to get rid of. So, hell of a lot of business. Hell of a lot of business to go.
Going to be a hell of a busy week. But look, let's go on to some potential incomings. And first of all, we're going to talk about Nico Paz, as Demasio gave us an update regarding his situation yesterday. And he says that Tottenham have raised their offer to around 50 million euros for Nico Paz, but there is still no approval for the transfer, neither on the player side nor from the club. Como has already rejected a 40 million euro bid from Spurs at the start of this month, and Como value their star player at 70 million euros. So if we believe this report to be true, we're still 20 million euros away of what they want.
Which is, in Tottenham terms, is quite significant.
Yeah.
We know that. What I would say about Damasio is he's been quite wrong recently, and I don't know what's going on with his sources. You know, he used to be quite close to like Fabio, and like it felt like a lot of the time that Damasio was kind of like the mouthpiece for Fabio, like back in the day. But recently, he's just been getting everything wrong. He said Angel's staying. He said Esteve. We're in talks of Esteve. What else did he say? He's just been every report he's been saying has just been wrong recently. So I don't know whether to believe it.
It's been for a while, actually, hasn't it?
Yeah, so I don't know how much to believe out of this right now, because his record currently isn't the strongest. But if I take it at face value, I really want him. I think he's the kind of number 10 in terms that I think we should be looking at, like a really good number 10 with vision, good passer. If I was like describe him, like in terms of how he kind of plays, he plays like similarly to kind of like Cole Palmer. He's like similar kind of profile to him. Quite languid on the ball, very calm, but always seems to have that extra yard, always seems to have that little bit of space. I think he's a bit taller, a bit stronger, like he's quite good physically. So I really would be interested in getting someone like him in. Obviously, right now as well, we are getting nearer to that deadline, so we need a midfield like him. So if we have to overpay, I think we should. But, you know, Madrid are involved in this deal. That we might have to negotiate with them as well. Does that complicate things? Are Tottenham willing to go, you know, basically pay more than they would have paid for Eze for a player who's way less proven in a different league, and is a bit younger? So, I mean, I guess the age thing is not a massive issue for Spurs, but we know being proven and stuff and overpaying, that's not something we tend to do. So we're going to have to basically change our strategy a bit to go for him, essentially, and it's going to have to be a very late change to the strategy. You know, are Tottenham worried that if they're doing this, are they panic buying, or is it the right move? That's the determination they got to make.
Yeah. Well, regardless, if this bid is true, we're going to have to go higher than that, and it's not going to be able to be done at that price. It's such a difficult deal. There's just so many moving parts to this. With the Real Madrid situation, you know, it was reported earlier in the window as well that he doesn't even want to leave Como for this season. So it does seem like this deal could be, you know, just a bit of a pipe dream, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems one of those where, in theory, like, you know, he's at Como, you know, he's a number 10. Could we get it done? But it's one of those where we'll in a few days' time we'll be like, oh, this is too complicated, that's too complicated, and we'll walk away.
It does feel like with Nico Paz, if it is true that he wants to stay at Como just to further his development, it feels like he's got good people around him and a good head on his shoulders. You know, prioritizing kind of staying at Como, nurturing himself, his development. He's doing really well there, and he's such a young player. He's got such a big future ahead of him.
So you're saying him wanting to stay makes you want him more?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Always want what you can't have.
Exactly. Apart from Eze, I don't want Eze anymore.
Forget, fuck him.
But yeah, that's the Nico Paz situation. Next up, we are going to go back and talk about Savinho. We obviously know we played Man City yesterday. Everyone was in attendance, from Johan Lang, Daniel Levy, the Man City hierarchy, Savinho's agents. There was apparent talks yesterday after the game regarding the Savinho situation. And the reports are from Simon Jones from the Mail, says that Tottenham have held further talks with Man City over a deal for Savinho on Saturday. Spurs are prepared to offer over £60 million for the Brazilian. Dean Jones Soccer says that Tottenham are growing increasingly confident that they can complete a deal to sign Savinho. Man City are surprised by how much the player wants to move. Savinho has been convinced by the role that he would play under Thomas Frank and believes he has a great chance of fulfilling his potential at Spurs rather than at Manchester City. The scoreline yesterday only strengthened his belief further.
There was chance in the weigh-in yesterday of, are you watching Savinho?
Oh, really?
Bit of banter from the Spurs fans. Well, I would say the price seems to be increasing by 10 million with each report. So that's not great news if you're Daniel Levy and you hope, or Tottenham fans hoping for this deal to get over the line. As I've said, I think if the fee is around 60 million, I really hope Spurs will pull the trigger, and I think that's something we'll do. But if you're talking about 80 million, I just don't see Tottenham going that high. I mean, as much I don't really care if they do or not. I'd love them to. I don't see them doing it. I think the deal would have to be done at around £60 million. I think 70 million will end up being too steep for this board. In fact, I even think 60 million. I don't think they'll pay that straight up. I think they'll probably want to do like 50 plus 10 or something. That knowing Tottenham, I don't see them giving them 60 million in a straight bid. I don't see that as well. But we are getting desperate. We're getting into a difficult situation, and time's running out. So, unfortunately, the reality is Man City hold all the cards here. They know we're desperate. They don't have to sell. They've got a good player who I know he wants to leave, but I don't see him downing tools if he stays. I don't know if it's that kind of desperation to leave where he's going to refuse to pay, because that's going to hurt his World Cup chances even more. So he knows that Man City know if he ends up staying, he's going to knuckle down. It's not like he's going to down tools. So, we don't hold the cards here. So we're going to have to compromise.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all is obviously very reliant on Man City getting a replacement in if we were to sign him. And the Rodrigo talks have just gone completely so cold, haven't they?
I think he was he unused
Rodrigo
again on the
ages.
weekend?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember.
I'm not sure. But, yeah, I mean, with Savinho, is it not positive, though, that Spurs are kind of still at the table now? Because the reports have literally not changed at all since the first week we were linked to him till now. And there must be something going on in the background if Spurs are still at the table.
I've seen Tottenham stay at the table for way too long than they should have before. So I'm not going to get too much hope.
Situation now, like there's a week to go in the transfer window. Surely, if they're going to get someone in, unless they're completely working in the darkness like we've seen before, and someone completely out of the blue is going to pop up.
Wouldn't be surprised if this is a distraction. Knowing Tottenham, it's been non-stop with the same thing, same news. Not much has changed. I wouldn't be surprised if out of nowhere we agree a deal with some guy from some foreign league, 30 million, and everyone's going to look him up saying, "Oh, actually, this guy's sick and he's the next big thing." I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, to be honest.
However, after the game yesterday, him and Pedro Porro started following each other on social media.
Interesting.
And also, apparently, he started following a barber in London.
Oh, one of those, like Gibbs White did.
But Gibbs White actually was going to come.
True. Let's see. Let's see if anything comes of it. I'm sceptical. I've been sceptical from the start of this deal. I haven't seen anything yet to suggest that it's likely to happen.
The thing is, right, like any deal, we're going to be sceptical over after what we've been through this summer. Like Morgan Gibbs White, Eze. After that, it just... it's hard to get hopeful on any deal.
It's just more I'm reading the conditions of the deal, and I just don't really see Tottenham doing it. I'm looking at what's being reported, and based on what's being reported, I don't really see this deal happening. That's just my take on it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's more unlikely than any other one. I'm just saying it's based on what I'm reading in the reports. It's not based on my gut feeling just because I've been burned so many times. Obviously, that leaks into it as well, but I'm just going on the facts of what's being reported and how much City want, right? And given what the player is and how old he is and how much experience he has, do I see Tottenham completing this deal for the price that City want because City hold all the cards? And I just don't.
Yeah, also, I get that, but also on the flip side of it, if we just read or if we're looking into the press and what the press is suggesting, this one's probably closer than anyone that we're led to believe.
That's a worry.
That is a worry because there's no new names being added in apart from who we're going to talk about next. And we're, like I keep saying, 8 days left to go of the window. And we just need someone in so desperately. Like, who's it going to be? When's it going to be? How's it going to be? Like, we need someone in, man. We need 2 players in, not 3.
Yeah, I think we're not going to get these proven players, in my opinion. I've got a
They've run out
there.
These proven players.
That's what I'm saying. We're not going to get not even I mean, I don't know if you count Savinho as proven, but I think we're going to start looking in the foreign league soon, and we're going to get a cheap, probably a 30 million deal or something for someone.
You reckon Savinho was watching the game yesterday being like, "Oh, get me to that club"?
Maybe. I don't know. I think he's probably looking at it thinking, if I was playing on that right wing for City, maybe I could have done the better job.
No, he didn't want to be in the Jed Spence penalty.
That's probably true as well, actually.
And last but not least, we're going to talk about Lucas Paqueta. Simon Jones from the Mail says that Tottenham are showing interest in West Ham attacking midfielder Lucas Paqueta. He's probably like the last Premier League proven player that we could possibly go for. We know it's an absolute shit show at West Ham at this moment in time. I wouldn't be surprised if Paqueta wants out. We know he's cleared of all the charges that were put against him last season. And scored an unbelievable goal. Well, it was a great hit. Keeper definitely should have done better. But I would love to see Paqueta through the club, through the doors at the club. And not only because I think he's a very good player, just because of the piss it's going to boil if we get him in.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It's what we joked in our London is Ours video. You should go check it out. To Nicky about, he was saying, where do Spurs go from here? I was like, maybe we put in a cheeky bid for Paqueta, because I'm looking at West Ham and I wouldn't be surprised if he puts in a transfer request right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he's desperate to get out there with what's going on. He's literally surrounded by such average players and such awful quality. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's desperate to leave. But, if we hadn't signed Kudus off them this summer, I would actually say maybe we got a chance of this. But I really don't. I think there would be such a meltdown if they would sell another player to Tottenham, another good player to Tottenham. I think they might have death threats or something. I'm not even joking. Like, I just can't see, like, the West Ham fans accepting that in any way, shape, or form.
It would be poetry in motion, though. It would be poetry in motion if we would sign Paqueta on the back of when he scored on Friday night. He ran over to the West Ham fans, touching the badge and all that kind of stuff. Can you imagine the next game he turns out in a Tottenham shirt?
I just can't see it. It'll be too good. Something like that. And also, when it comes to Paqueta, I'm not saying I don't want him, but is he a proper 10 or is he more of like an 8? Like that's good at going forward?
I think he's like one of those hybrids. 8/10.
Just like a Gibbs White, maybe. Yeah.
Exactly. I think he would suit well in this Spurs team, to be honest. And I think, like, you've seen him really knuckle down at West Ham. I think there was a period where he looked really good, but it's just been such a shit show at West Ham for so long. Like, I think in a new environment, like, look at Kudus last season for West Ham. He looked terrible. Yeah. And
he had a bad season as well, didn't he, Paqueta?
Yeah, and I think the season before, like, there was a period where he looked really good. And I think if he had better players around him, a better structure around him, I think he would look phenomenal.
Yeah, I think he's a top player. I think he's a really good player. And he just needs focusing. He needs a new environment, I feel. And I'm not saying he's going to have a bad season at West Ham. I'm just saying I think
he probably will.
He might do, but I reckon if he was playing for a team like Tottenham, people would be talking about him very differently.
Yeah,
he would be talked about as one of the top players in that position, rather than not even no one really talks about him.
Yeah, and I think like I said before, I think he would fit in so well because I think when he's on it, he's a real hard worker. And when you look at Spurs, how they were pressing yesterday, he would just add to that. And he's got quality in the final third as well.
But he loves booking though.
He loves the booking. He does love it.
He does love it. I think bets on Paqueta to be booked every game are going to be very high.
Yeah, imagine Paqueta and João Palhinha in a midfield three.
Oh, God. But yeah, look, I really can't see this happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder.
What can you see happening?
I don't know, but I wonder how much they would command. It says their market value 28 million. So I'm wondering, does he have a contract situation? Is it running down? Because surely his market value would be higher than that, I would have thought, on transfer market, given he's 27 and given how good he is.
Contract 2027.
So 2 years left.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah.
Well, at the end of this year, we'll be going into his last year.
I'd be shocked if he signs another one.
Exactly. So maybe they're going to have to sell at some point.
Maybe, but that I mean, they've also got so much to do. West Ham, can they afford to lose Paqueta?
If they sell Paqueta this summer, surely they're like odds on for the drop. Like, seriously, the way they're playing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it would be madness. I mean, how much do you think? In the context of we've signed Kudus from them, we're direct rival, we're the biggest rivals. How much do you think would a bid would have to be to even make them consider it?
50 million.
50? That low? I would have said 70.
I think you can get him out for 50.
Really? You think a 50 million bid they accept?
Maybe not from Spurs, but I think generally, if a team offers 50 million for Paqueta,
I'm saying us. I'm saying for us.
I don't know. It seems like the West Ham board don't really give a shit. So.
Yeah, maybe.
I think 50 million. I think test the waters with 50 million and see what happens.
I don't think I accept 50.
I don't think I'd set 55 for Kudus.
Yeah, you're right. Right about that. Maybe they will.
So look, that is your Tottenham update today. Let us know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all those transfer stories that we have brought you today. Let's move on, people. Let's move on and let's talk about the game yesterday. What a day it was to be a Tottenham Hotspur fan. Manchester City 0, Tottenham 2. And look, there are three things certain in life. There's death, taxes, and Spurs taking points at the Etihad. It is unbelievable how we have their number every single year, no matter who the manager is.
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah.
Conte, Ange, and now Thomas Frank have all taken points at the Etihad, all won at the Etihad. And, you know, it's one of the toughest places to go in the Premier League. And Spurs just make light work of it every time. 4-0 last year, 2-0 this year, 3-all the year before, 3-2 the year before that. And it's just... I'm just gobsmacked to see how every year we can get points there. Like, what is it about Spurs and the Etihad?
I mean, it's mad to have your bogey team to be Man City. It's correct, well, the opposite, but it's crazy. It's what a team to have the number of, and it's like it's such a weird phenomenon, isn't it? Doesn't matter. Like I think the theory before, like, well, because we used to beat them, like when we had like Mourinho and Conte, like the theory like was, oh, you know, we got these like counter-attacking managers. And
did Mourinho never won at the Etihad? Did he?
No, he beat them at home, but yeah, I guess he never won at the Etihad. But like, it doesn't matter what kind of manager we have. We got super attack one, and Ange goes and wins their 4-0. We got more pragmatic ones like Conte win their 3-2. You got bloody a terrible manager in, well, terrible for us anyway, Nuno, and he doesn't win the Etihad, but we won 1-0. And now we have Thomas Frank, and he puts in a tactical masterclass, wins 2-0. It's just one of these odd quirks, and I think Man City, the fans, you know, it strikes fear in them whenever we come to the Etihad now. Like it's kind of like they're resigned to it. They're resigned to us winning there. It's like they've given up hope of like, oh, it's just another 3 points for Spurs. Even Pep Guardiola says, you know, one of his, I think before they beat us last year, he said one things he wants to do before his career ends is a score at Tottenham. Like it's just a thing. I don't know if it's a psychological thing or what it is, but like, I don't know. It's just we always seem to go there full of confidence. We end up getting 3 points and putting a great display every time.
Yeah, and yesterday was a performance to be very proud of, in my opinion. Very proud, because you look at our previous wins at the Etihad, right? I think yesterday was probably where we conceded the least amount of chances, had the most control of the game. Like, they had a lot of the ball, right, but I thought we were controlling the game so well without the ball, like phenomenally well. You look back at last year, even 4-0, I think they created more chances against us in the 4-0. The 3-all, I mean, like I mentioned before the game, we could have been like 10-0 down at half-time. The 3-2, it was like a snatch and grab towards the end. Man City were probably the better team on the day at times. Many times we've gone to the Etihad and rode our luck a little bit. And I said before the game, you know, whenever you go to the Etihad, there's periods in the game where you just have to, you know, sit deep, soak up the pressure, get a bit lucky in terms of poor finishing ability from Man City. But that didn't really happen yesterday. I thought it was a tactical masterclass from Thomas Frank. I thought, I said as well yesterday that I think this was our most complete performance probably since the Pochettino era. Many years ago. So look, we'll get into all that in a sec, but you there in the away end yesterday, talk to me. Atmosphere, vibes, must have been good.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere. Everyone was in such great spirits, considering, you know, what happened this week with you know, us being embarrassed in the transfer window and all that. You would, you know, going to the Etihad, you would have forgiven Tottenham fans for fearing the worst. But actually everyone was in really good spirits. Everyone was kind of, I think maybe being in these familiar surroundings, having these, you know, having these good feelings, associating the Etihad with, you know, big wins and good feelings. I think it settled everyone down actually quite a lot before the game. And I think everyone just had this feeling, especially after we scored the first goal. It was like everyone was just so confident we were going to win after that. I think it's just because we've been here before, and everyone we've seen this how this plays out. We've seen this movie before essentially. And as soon as we went 1-0 up, it was like party time, and like everyone just like, you know, even though like there's in the back of your mind like, okay, you know, 1-0, 2-0, You're still expecting a City onslaught. You're still expecting there's going to be times where we're back against the wall and we're hanging on for dear life, and it just never happened, did it? It never really materialised, and the fans were really loud. It was a great away end. Turns out I happened to be in the family section. I had Vicario's mum to my right. I had Tell's brother and sister 2 rows behind me. I had Brendan Johnson's dad sitting literally directly behind me. He happened to be
Van der
Ven's dad sitting next to him. I think Bergval's parents were there as well, because I saw Brendan Johnson pointing to where the family were to him and he was waving. So I'm sure Bergval's family was there as well. I happened to catch on camera Brennan Johnson's dad's reaction to all the fans singing Brennan Johnson again.
He looked so
fantastic.
proud, man.
Yeah, it was great. And obviously he got another goal. It was just a fantastic day. A great way, obviously, to start the season. And just another win at the Etihad. I think, singing at the Etihad at Manchester City has happened again. Singing, "Are you watching Savinho?" There was some great banter going on in the away end. And the City fans... Yeah, all they could sing was "Have you ever seen Tottenham win the league?" That's all they had really in their armoury. After that, they were very quiet, and it was. And you know what? They were leaving quite early. 10 minutes to go was already the empty had, I would say, or 10 minutes to go. They were leaving in their droves. Even they could sense it. They couldn't really sense City getting back in the game. The fans, you could see it.
Yeah,
it was very quiet. The atmosphere was not great on their side.
and it's quite unbelievable because after the first weekend of the season, everyone was like, "City are back. They were unbelievable." What performance they put in, the most impressive team in the first weekend of the Premier League. And in my opinion, we made them look a bit average yesterday, like really average. I thought Tijani Reinders, that was one of the stars of the first week. Like he was probably player of the first weekend of the Premier League. Everyone's talking about this guy is going to dominate the Premier League. This guy is going to be insane. I thought our midfield just locked him down. Didn't give him a moment to rest on the ball. He was anonymous on the ball. You're looking at Erling Haaland, scored 2 goals on the first weekend of the Premier League. The amount of goals he's scored since coming into the Premier League, obviously. Romero was just on him every time. Bang, bang, bang. Romero just completely locked him down. Oscar Bob, who was also really impressive first weekend of the Premier League. He's another one that's added into the Jed Spence penitentiary. He can get past Jed Spence once. Literally, all their players that looked so impressive in the first weekend of the Premier League got locked down by a frank tactical masterclass yesterday.
Yeah, and I think defensively we were fantastic throughout most of the game. I would say, the opening 20 minutes, I wouldn't say we were bad defensively, but obviously, Porro made that one mistake, nearly let Mamouche in, got a bit lucky with that one. Haaland, I have to say that Haaland, he bundled his way past 3 or 4 players, and that was quite frustrating because none of them made a challenge. And maybe, I don't know, we got away with that because he plays it through to Mamouche and Vicario makes the save. And I think after that moment, I don't know if Frank got in someone's ear or they rallied together because we didn't let that happen again after that happened. It was ridiculous that Haaland was managed to get through all the players at that point. And
it was a nice little ball from Haaland.
It was great. No, it was great play from him from an injured point of view. But if you're watching it from a Tottenham point of view. That was reminiscent in that moment of some of the worst traits of last season, where we're just not making a challenge, we're allowing someone to run right through us. And there was 3 or 4 players he bundled off the ball. That should never be happening. You either got to bring him down or make a tackle. You can't allow Haaland to do that. Anyway, we got away with it. I think Mamouche had another effort from 25 yards, which Vicario easily dealt with. And that's pretty that. They had moments, and I'm not saying City were playing badly, but I think we were fairly comfortable, even in the opening exchanges. City were obviously, testing us. But this is Man City. You can't expect them to not have any shots at all, can you? They're going to have chances at the Etihad. You got to expect that. You got to expect there's going to be periods where, they're playing well, they're knitting some football together, and they did that in the opening 20 minutes. But but even then, I remember saying, we're playing quite well still. We're defending well. We're being really strong. Paulinho and Bentancur are mastering that midfield. I wouldn't say we were too much of a threat in the transition, but you could see there were moments, Kuda's picking up free kicks, Richarlison doing his thing. And also, getting set pieces. I think Porro had a free kick and whatever, which went just wide. But then I think we started to we started to affect the build-up. On our side, we were playing it short, and then we got the moment we were looking for, which long ball over from Porro to Sarr, which, by the way, I've noticed we've been aiming for Sarr aerially a lot more recently since Frank's come in. I noticed it against PSG. A lot of the time we went for a long ball, we're aiming it for Sarr for these flick-ons. Did it again yesterday. Brilliant flick on from him. Richarlison times his run to perfection, keeps onside. And you got to say, it's brilliant from Rishi.
Unreal.
Keeps onside, breaks down the line, good pace as well. You know, I've never seen him look so quick. Gets in behind and lays it right on the plate. That pass looks easy, but if you actually look at it, the defender, I don't know who's, I thought it was Rico Lewis, he's inches away from it, right? An inch to the left or an inch to the right, Rico Lewis gets that. It's literally inch perfect for Brennan Johnson just to run onto, and he can take it first time. It was actually quite reminiscent of a goal we scored last year, if you remember, when Werner scored. It was very similar to that goal.
Against Man City.
Against Man City in the Carabao.
Yeah.
Very similar to that kind of goal. So it was actually, you know, similar to like an Ange kind of goal we would have scored, but brilliant team goal. And I think from that moment, I think we weren't threatening too much before him, but from that moment, it was like we gained that confidence, like we can hurt these guys here. Like there's no need to fear them. And then we really started to go for them after that.
Absolutely. And it's kind of like, I felt like it was a bit of a pensive game before that, a bit of a game of chess where both teams were just, you know, a bit reserved. And then as soon as that goal went in, the game just like sprung into life, didn't it?
Yeah.
And, but by the way, that goal, I don't understand why it took so long to give the goal. What happened to semi-automated VAR? Why is it not just done in a flash? Like
you can see
I could see straight away that was onside, like from the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like why the hell is it taking so long? It boggles my mind, like why that happens.
Yeah, and there was 7 minutes added on at the end of the first half because there was a long VAR check. Like I thought semi-automated was supposed to be the end of that.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand. Though that's a simple one. Like it was ruled offside. You can see from the first three players on. You have the semi-automated. It shows who's on. That should take a minute at most. Why is it taking? How long did it actually take? 2 or 3 minutes?
Something like that. Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it was madness. But anyway, great goal. Brennan Johnson, inevitable. 2 games, 2 goals. Unbelievable finish from him. Great move all round. Then after that, yeah, Spurs started giving it to them, and then straight after, you know, you have that moment with Kudus and Trafford and Porro, and I can't remember who was the defender that fouled Porro just outside the box. Was it Rico Lewis?
Might have been. Was it Ake?
Maybe Ake or Rico Lewis. Ake. Sorry, it was Ake. And first of all, how the hell is the referee not giving anything there? Like how? I just don't understand it.
I thought, was it a handball from Trafford? Was it a foul from Trafford, kneeing bloody Kudus? And it's a foul on Porro. So, we were incessant in the ground. Everyone was furious. I don't know how Man City got away with.
Furious here.
Yeah, I looked at when we were in the ground, like how Man City got away with that one. I don't know.
It's madness. I thought the referee was an absolute shambles yesterday. I thought he really was. But anyway,
and Haaland should have been booked for that foul on Richarlison. I thought that was a bad tackle. I thought,
yes,
like when we had that free kick,
100%. And Romero gets the ball, and they call a free kick against him, and then he gets. But I think it was for dissent. I'm not 100% sure if it was, but if he's booking him for that challenge, that's a disgrace in itself. But it should never be a free kick against Romero. It was a pinpoint challenge. Got the ball cleanly. So there were many decisions yesterday that were just absolutely horrific. But
yeah, our pressing was good, even in the first half. Like Rishi won a couple, didn't he? In their half, we didn't really make the most of it, but did make the most of it with the Trafford one.
Oh no, mate! We were just hounding in on them, closing in on them. I couldn't believe what Trafford did. Like, why is he just making a pass there when he can see the Spurs players like honing in with the press? Like, all he has to do is dink it over them, and he's beating the press. I was amazed at what Trafford did there, and we took full advantage of it. Unbelievable play from Richarlison again. It kind of bubbles its way to João Palhinha, who was brilliant on the day, and he just hammers it home.
Friday, he's like, this is going in, I don't care how. Who did it deflect off? It was the keeper or the defender? I don't know, but it goes in 2-0, and we get good reward for great reward for was really great pressing, really hard work, really smart pressing as well. And the difference you could see is what Trafford and Nico Gonzalez trying to do. There was a moment in that first half we were building with Bentancur, and like Bentancur's movement, he seems to be. You can see there's a difference. He's really passing, moving, finding that space. I feel like too often before Bentancur could be a bit too static, like waiting for the ball to come to him, not making sure he's showing for it, moving. There was one piece in build-up, I remember it very clearly, like Vicario passed it to him, he lays off to Romero, he then moves for Romero, makes space, then Romero passed it to him and he lays off to Porro, then again he moves to make space for Porro, and Porro played it down the line for him, and now he's constantly moving. And if we're going to see that kind of Bentancur, he showed composure on the ball, he showed really smart movement, he showed really great physicality because he was outrunning all the other midfielders in that moment. Like, that is the Bentancur that we were seeing like a couple of years ago. That is him at his best, when he's at his physical best as well. And look, as much as people wanted a new sentiment, all that kind of stuff, I really hope Bentancur could be like a new signing this season.
He will be, because, I completely agree. I think he's playing his best football now since that injury. It's taken him a long time. It's been a long road to get here, but he's finally here, and I'm delighted for him. I'm delighted for him because he's a top midfielder on his day. Just cast your mind back to before that injury, just that little period before that injury when he was playing his best football in the Spurs shirt, and now he seems to be back to that level. But the midfield just works so well together. You had João Palhinha sitting and gobbling everything up. You had Rodrigo Bentancur, always seemed to have space and time, and always was an option, and always was just so calm and composed on the ball, and he was the one picking up the ball from the defence and driving us forward. And Pape Sarr, I mean, he was bloody everywhere. He was literally everywhere, pressing, dropping deep, defending. Look, I say it every week, and it's a bit of a cliche, but it's so true, covering every blade of grass. This midfield three was just incredible yesterday, and we were worried before the game about winning that midfield battle. I mean, bloody hell, we won that midfield battle.
Yeah, I mean, I was more worried on the ball than off the ball, but you know what? They were fantastic. They were fantastic on both sides of the coin. I think obviously they were probably better off the ball than they were on the ball, but doesn't matter. They did what was required, and what they did against PSG. Just keep disrupting. Every time you win a tackle, it was like a goal. Every time you disrupt them, it stops Man City building up. It stops their patterns of play. It stops them from playing their football. That's how Man City, you know that how they like to play. You know how they like to score goals. They like these little pretty patterns, and they like to little short passes, and they build through the middle. They build up their way of playing up into the penalty boxes. They're not very direct. They like to do little patterns. So every time you disrupt them, they got to start again. And every time you disrupt them, it's like they've got to restart their build-up yet again. So it takes more and more time. And, they're very possession-heavy. And, when we get the ball, we're very direct. And we go straight for them because we know there's going to be space there. And that is just what Palhinha, Bentancur and Sarr was so brilliant at yesterday. And it's what they were brilliant at against PSG as well. Just constantly either putting out for a throw, making a foul, making a tackle, just constantly making sure Man City can't build up, and Man City were getting really frustrated. And going to the second half, we're 2-0 up. Obviously, we're happy, and it's a great position to be in. Obviously, we're also in the back of our minds. We've just, very recently we had the PSG, incident, which not long ago, so we still got maybe a bit of PTSD about that. And it's Man City at the Etihad, so you're still kind of expecting an onslaught. You're still expecting, second half, is it going to be backs against the wall? Is it going to be just hanging on for dear life, making sure we don't concede, or Man City going to get a goal back and then really go for it? And it just never happened. That whole second half, Vicario, I don't think made a save. I don't remember a save he made. In fact, there was I think they started okay, City, but I actually think they made these two subs. They brought on Doku and Bernardo. I actually thought that took the wind out of their sails. I thought
Doku was giving Porro a bit of problems when he came on.
I'm not saying them two themselves were bad. I'm just saying the substitution. There was like a 15-minute period after they made those subs where we really were on top of them, and we actually should have scored a third at that point. We were creating some chances. Richarlison, I think, had 3-headed opportunities. Richarlison also was starting to play Brennan through on goal a few times. There was that one moment where he plays Brennan through and he just takes a heavy touch, and if his touch was a bit better, he was in on goal. He was 1-on-1 with the keeper. There was a chance as well. Brennan, I think, had a 4-on-5, and he took a 5-on-4, and he took a shot from 25 yards.
I was really annoyed when he took that shot because Sarr was in so much space. If he just dinked it into Sarr or just laid it into Sarr, that's 3-0.
Yeah. So I'm saying that all happened like in that little period just after they made a sub. So I actually think the sub Pep made kind of worked against them a bit. I think we started to take control, and all of a sudden we were pressing as well. Again, what I liked about our press is the difference between the press under Ange and this one, which we saw yesterday. Both very aggressive, but Ange is like, we never stop. So every moment you got to be pressing, essentially. Never stop pressing. Whereas Frank's was a bit smarter, have that period when we're on top of them, when you can feel that it must be a trigger or whenever there's a moment in the game, you go for it, you press them. But it's not constant. It's not like you have to be pressing at every single moment.
It's kind of like sit in when you need to sit in and go press when you need to press. And when they are pressed, they're proper hunting in packs.
Exactly.
Proper hunting in packs. It's unbelievable to see. And I was saying this yesterday as well, that remember under Pochettino when we were talking a lot about the different partnerships on the pitch. So you had like Jan and Toby, you had Rose and Walker, you had pretty much Son and everyone, and Kane and Son and whatever, all these kind of different partnerships on the pitch. I started to see a lot of those kind of elements and aspects yesterday, where I thought the fullbacks work really well in tandem. Obviously, you got Romero and Van der Ven, who's an unbelievable partnership. I think Richie and Kudus are forming a really nice little partnership up there as well together. I thought Palhinha and Bentancur work so well in tandem with each other, and I'm seeing all these different partnerships starting to form, and so early as well, only 2 games in to Frank's tenure, and I think that's a massively positive sign.
That's something Frank's very big on. He's spoken about it a lot when he was at Brentford, about knowing your teammates and understanding their strengths and playing to them and creating those partnerships. And obviously it worked amazing for him. He had that Mbeumo Wissa partnership. He had lots of different partnerships throughout the pitch, in midfield, in the back. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of that, and it's only going to get better the more time they play together. So I agree. The fact
Porro
that
and Kudus as well.
Yeah, Porro, Kudus. The only one we're still yet to see, maybe, which I think we saw a bit more in this game, but still not great, was Spencer Johnson.
Yeah,
we didn't see too much of it, but I thought they tried to link up a bit more in this one than they did maybe in the last game. We saw them play together. But yeah, I think I agree. After 3 competitive games, the fact we're already seeing these starting to develop in big games, away from home, is really, really great. And I think that's going to be a massive thing that Frank always drills into the team.
Yeah.
So that's really, really great.
Yeah. So I couldn't be happier with the way things are going under Thomas Frank. 3 competitive games, and all 3 of them have been phenomenal performances. You're looking at the PSG for 85 minutes. We were incredible.
That's another thing. I think he learned from his mistake.
Yeah, for sure. The subs were spot on.
Yeah, like the mistake against PSG was taking off Palhinha and Bentancur, putting in, Gray and Bergval, and all of a sudden we started losing those duels. And all of a sudden, instead of meeting PSG at the halfway line, we were meeting them on the edge of our penalty area. And that never happened pretty much in this game, because he kept Palhinha. I think Palhinha went off in stoppage time.
Yeah.
He kept them on pretty much the whole game until the game was pretty much won. And we never stopped losing those duels, essentially, throughout the whole game. We kept on their necks, and we kept basically pressing them, and we just kept being a pest and being a nuisance and breaking up their play constantly. And I think that was the mistake he made against PSG, and look, he learned very quickly.
Some of those last-ditch challenges in there from Spurs yesterday were just... that Van der Ven challenge on Foden in the box.
Phenomenal.
Like, wow. Some of those challenges from Palhinha yesterday as well, like Romero, such aggressive defending. I just thought the whole team, every single player, just deserve so much praise for their performance yesterday. If we can keep building, if we can build on that, and the most amazing thing about it as well is like Thomas Frank and Brennan Johnson both after the game, both saying like, didn't even seem excited or anything. They're just like, yeah, we've still got so much to learn. We're still building as a team, all this kind of stuff. After putting a performance like that,
although
how can it get better?
Frank did say, I'm starting to fall in love with this club.
Yeah.
What was your, actually, we didn't cover it, but what was your reaction when you saw the lineup?
I was surprised. I was really surprised. I was convinced he was going 5 at the back. And I was saying at the beginning of the watch line, I don't think this is the right way to go. I think that we should be going 5 at the back. I was in the preview with you. I was certain that we should be going 5 at the back. I was like, that's the way to victory. But look, I also said that Thomas Frank is the master tactician here, not me. So let's see how it goes. But look, I'm very happy he did go with 4 at the back because it was phenomenal.
Yeah, I remember in the preview I was saying I wouldn't be surprised if he wanted to put an extra attacker in there, but I was also saying it will probably be a 3-4-3 rather than I was saying it was probably going to be a 3-4-3 rather than a 4-2-3-1. I was surprised he went to a back 4 after what happened to Bayern, but clearly, we've learned on a lot of what happened in that game because we played a back 4, but we were nowhere near as open. So he's clearly worked on a lot. Obviously, Paolini is obviously looking a lot more fit as well. That helps.
And he said Paolini is still not 100%.
Yeah, which is crazy that he's played in that kind of performance, not 100%. But yeah, I think he's worked on clearly a lot. The fact that we can defend like that now, everyone expected that the PSG game was going to be a blueprint. But is he showing it doesn't have to be? Like, we can go away to City, we can go back 4, and just because we do that doesn't mean we have to leave ourselves open. I also feel like as well, he looked at I was saying this in the preview. He looked at Man City back line. He's like, we can get at that. We can get at that. That is a back line that is vulnerable, and they were. I thought they were very vulnerable yesterday.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I felt like any time a Man City defender or midfielder had it in the middle of the park, like isolated, ready to move the ball on, Kudus would just absolutely steam towards them. And they shat themselves every time. Like, Kudus, that absolute steam train. Absolute steam train, Mohamed Kudus, mate. And for all these bloody West Ham fans being like, oh, he doesn't work hard, he's not a team player. I mean, that's all I've seen from him.
Yeah,
I've only seen him work hard and be a complete team player. Unbelievable from Mohamed Kudus. And the way that he was... His defensive work yesterday, his work rate was just second to none, man. The way he was backing up Porro every time when Porro looked a bit in danger, Jeremy Doku and Marmoush, Kudus was always back there in a flash to help him out. I don't know what the stats are on the running, but Kudus must have run so much yesterday, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I can get individual running. I couldn't get the team running. Let me see, because they have that on SofaScore now. Let's see if I can see what the running was like. But yeah, they ran themselves into the ground yesterday. They're taking it away. No, forget it. It was phenomenal team performance. Everyone never stopped, did they? They never stopped, like, concentrating constantly. I think, and it helps as well, probably, on the sidelines. Apparently, I was watching Ali Gold's video yesterday. Apparently, there's like a coach, like, that has a word with like each individual player, like on the sidelines. So it's not like the one coach like talking to everyone. It's like you got the defensive coach talking to defenders, or even like in specialist individual. Like you got a coach talking to specific players, giving them little pointers, and that's like a constant thing throughout the game. You also got Frank constantly on the touchline giving advice and talking. You got Justin Cochrane as well, Matt Wells. That they seem to all very much be involved. They're like constantly watching the video. They're constantly on the tactical boards. All these different things. So look, it's a very impressive start. 2 clean sheets as well in 2 games, and one of them being at the Etihad. You can't really say any more. The only thing I would say is, this is not a criticism of Frank whatsoever, but you could, even in yesterday's game, how good that was, you can still see what we're missing, even in that game, and we need to rectify that, because if we had that little bit more quality, I think the performance could have been even better. And that's not a criticism of Frank whatsoever. It's just the kind of player we're missing, and he's obviously making do what we got, and that's fine. I'm not saying what we got is bad either. I'm just saying, even in yesterday's game, and what a great performance it was, you could see that there was that little bit of quality in the middle, a little bit of
just a bit of guile.
A bit of guile. If we had like an attacking midfielder, I think it could have been even better. So, yeah, I would say for me, I would say still. I hope the hierarchy I'm watching yesterday's game and thinking,
we don't need anyone else. They are. But I wouldn't. I mean, I think that's the opposite. I mean, I know you said it's not a criticism of Frank, but I think that's a testament to Frank and testament to his methods that we're missing. We've got key areas missing in the squad still that we need to get in, and we're still able to score 5 goals in the first 2 games, concede 0. So unbelievable management from Thomas Frank, and long may it continue.
But I don't think it's these games we're gonna suffer for it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's the games that are potentially coming up. We've got a what on paper looks like a favourable run of fixtures now. Bournemouth at home, West Ham away, Brighton away, Wolves at home, Leeds away, Villa at home. And I mean, I'm looking at that set of fixtures, and after the first 2 games, I can't see a loss in there.
Don't get ahead of yourself. We've been here before, getting overexcited. Look, he's been brilliant in the first few games, but we all know it's not about, you don't judge a team when they're doing well, you judge a team how they react to when things go badly. And look, they are going to go badly at some point, I assume anyway. I'm not sitting here saying it'll be in the next game or whatever, but look, we're riding a wave. I'm not saying it's a new manager bounce or anything like that, but I'm just saying we've been here before, under the last manager especially, 10 games in, top of the league, 8 wins, playing the best football you've probably seen in a long time. And then, we know what happened. So I'm not saying it's going to be the same. I'm just saying let's temper our expectations. Let's just take each game as it comes. And let's not say I'm looking at the next 5 games and I don't see a loss, because that means we're probably going to lose on Saturday.
Yeah, you're probably right there. But look, that is the match review. Obviously, we're very happy here. I'm sure you guys are very happy as well. Unbelievable performance. Let us know your thoughts on the game in the comment section below. We've got a couple of super chats to get into before we move on. So Lazy Boy says, yesterday a super chat was read by Starving Margin running the show. That's the kind of humour that needs stamping out. Come on, you Spurs.
I wasn't here, so
I don't even know what he's talking about, and I was here. So Umar says, history of the Tottenham being Man City's daddy.
Exactly.
Fang says, how do you join the We Are Tottenham TV WhatsApp group? We don't have an open WhatsApp group.
Yeah, not an open one. Not for everyone.
No, we don't.
You want us to set one up? I don't know if I can handle that.
Abhishek says, I think that Champions League match put a psychological mark on City. They always play like they are scared of us.
Yeah.
And it's not just like in recent history, this dominance over Man City. I mean, we've had some massive wins there, even like going back to before they had all the money. When they got the money, we beat them in that Champions League playoff, the Champions League, obviously the quarterfinals. I mean, this has been a long-standing dominance over Man City.
Yeah, this isn't like a new thing. Like, we've just always had a pretty decent record there, like, for a long time. Obviously, we've lost games there, but like, I don't know. We just seem to always go there with like confidence.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things.
Yeah. And Marcus says, there's another Como player to buy. Bring Delhi home.
Is he still a Como player? Or they released him?
I think they released him.
Which is sad if that's true.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to player ratings, people. This one's going to be a good one, and I cannot wait to get stuck into these. And we're going to start off with the goalkeeper, Vicario. Sim gives him a 7. I gave him an 8. I know he didn't have that much to do, but I thought everything that he did to a really high standard yesterday. And obviously, there was that moment that we were talking about in the review where Haaland slips in Marmoush and Vicario comes out straight away, makes himself really big. And I thought from the crosses as well, he was putting his stamp in the box and putting good punches on the balls and stuff like that. He made a couple of decent saves for us on the day. But look, like we keep mentioning every game, it was a fairly quiet day for our goalkeeper. But like I said, I thought everything he did to a really high standard.
Yeah, he had obviously a very busy, he had a fairly busy opening at 20 minutes, had to push that Marmoush shot away from 25 yards, expect him to save that. Obviously, the big moment you're talking about, Marmoush gets slipped in. That was a really good save. That was probably his big moment. So I think we've got a lot to thank for him in the first 20 minutes, making sure they didn't score. Because I thought maybe we could have done a bit more to stop them creating chances. But after that, I think every other save he caught. If I remember rightly, I think there was a header from Rodri which he caught. I can't remember too many saves he had to make. Apart from that, the defence were actually doing a great job throwing their bodies on the line to make sure it doesn't even get to him. So I think a lot of that goes on the defence. But yeah, look, he had a good day. I thought he was actually playing out the back again, pretty decent, like nothing to complain about. So I gave him a 7 only because he didn't have to make too many saves. That's it.
Next up is Pedro Porro. Sim gives him a 7. I gave him an 8. Look, there were a few bad moments in there from Porro. Obviously, at 0-0, he does that silly header that puts Marmoush in, and it's still a tight angle, and he has a lot to do there from Marmoush, but he puts it just wide, so that was poor. And I felt like if Man City were getting any draw, it was going to come down his side. But Kudus, obviously, he did show some good defensive capabilities as well. But I thought offensively, his kind of playing out the back from deep was brilliant. Obviously, a goal came from one of them. His crosses, he put a couple of crosses bang on the money, which we really should have done a bit better from. So he's such an unbelievable outlet for us. And I thought it was a really good display of all, apart from, that mishap.
Yeah, I think if they were getting probably more joy out of that side than they were out of the left. I'm not saying he was like a massive liability. All I'm saying is, he had that moment when the header with Mamouche. I think Doku, he had that one moment where he kind of spun him a bit and he couldn't really deal with it, and they nearly got a chance out of it. I think Mamouche as well was getting a bit of joy out of him down that side, and luckily for us, nothing much came of it. But I don't think it was too much, and I think by and large he actually defended really well. And I actually think, apart from that one moment Doku spun him, I actually think he had Doku in his pocket. I think he was making some really good challenges, really good well-timed tackles, and I agree on the ball. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. There was a period in the second half where he was just picking the ball up and playing these really lovely, speculative long balls right into the pathway of Kudus, Richarlison. There was one moment as well where he just plays this ball in between Trafford and Sarr, and it kind of bounced over both of them. But it's just Porro is very good at playing those kind of passes where it just makes things awkward for the defender, because he's going to bounce in front of them. It means they're going to have to get involved in a duel with the attacker, and with the physicality of Kudus and Richarlison, a lot of defenders don't fancy it. And I think Porro is very good at playing those passes. Obviously, he played the pass for the first goal, which led to Sarr flicking on. So, yeah, I think on the ball he showed his worth again, and I think he really. I think our build-up's always better when we go through him, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. He's the one with that real quality, and I think by far the best crosser of the ball in the squad.
Yeah, he was unlucky as well. A few crosses where Richarlison, he just gets a bit more purchase on it. It's a goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to El Capitano, Cuti Romero. 9s all round for Cuti. And this was like a cup final Cuti, wasn't it, yesterday? Unbelievable performance. The way he locked down Haaland. Haaland pretty much barely had it. Apart from that moment where you talk about where he slipped through Mamouche, he had nothing throughout the whole game, and that is a testament to how well Cuti Romero played. Every time Haaland got the ball, there was Cuti on him like a flash. The challenges he was making, the way he got booked as well, completely unfair. He won the ball. I don't think Romero put a foot wrong the whole game, to be honest. I thought he was fantastic.
And there was even a moment, right? Haaland picks the ball up, which actually led to the free kick we got on the edge of their box in the first half. But Haaland picked the ball up literally just outside their box, and there's Cuti making a challenge. That's our centre-back. He's literally following him anywhere he's on the pitch. Even if you want to go to your own penalty area, I'm following you. I'll leave my position. You're not moving. You're not leaving my sights. And it led to us obviously winning a free kick. He nicked it off him. It was fantastic. Haaland must be sick at the sight of him, because he barely got a kick. I know he did have he had that one chance, I think it was from a header late in the first half. Apart from that, he literally didn't. I don't remember a shot he had. He barely had a shot, barely had a chance. Haaland will be having nightmares about Cuti, I think, after yesterday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so they just kept him so quiet, and he was brilliant on the ball again as well. So much composure. That was just Cuti at his very best.
Yeah, absolutely. Mickey van der Ven up next. 9s all round for Mickey. And this partnership is to die for, man. Cuti Romero and Mickey van der Ven. Such a great partnership. So lucky to have them, in my opinion. And look, I think it's his performances under his role under Frank and under Ange is so different, right? When we're got the high line, he's always having to run back, always putting those hamstrings into use. And now he can be a bit more controlled, a bit more measured. He's there for those last-ditch challenges, and they're absolutely to die for. That one on Phil Foden, because if Phil Foden scores there, we're in for a dodgy last few minutes. So such an important challenge to make from Mickey van der Ven, and he did it absolutely pinpoint. And there was a few of them throughout the game as well. It wasn't just that. I thought his defensive capabilities were on point. He was pushing high up the pitch as well at times. I think, again, along with Cuti, I think Mickey didn't put a foot wrong yesterday. Yeah,
I think it's helping him that he's not constantly covering large spaces, which obviously he's good at, but the fact he doesn't need to is leading him to an improved performance. And I think we're seeing. The thing is with Van der Ven, obviously he's a massive fan of his and he's a great defender, but I've always felt when he's been at the club, when it comes to being a box defender, he's still got a lot to like improve on and learn in terms of always being switched on, winning headers, clearances, that kind of stuff. I felt like he's always been a much better defender outside the penalty area than inside, if you know what I mean. But I think he's really improving that. You can see that there's been a real difference since Frank's come in. He's really improving like that art of defending, like getting tight to his man, positioning, putting his body on the line, all those different things. I think he's really getting better at. And so he's really becoming a much better all-round defender now. And on the ball as well, I'm seeing him a lot more confident with his passing. That seems to be improving. This was a top-notch display from Van de Ven. He was obviously also a big part of why Haaland was so quiet. And he's getting more confident. That partnership, it's amazing how that partnership looks. Obviously, it was looked good before, but when they've got that bit more protection and structure around them, like it's almost like they've gone from like, I described it yesterday, they've gone from like, they can handle it to like they're not getting past. Like it's a brick wall now. Yeah. It's crazy. And it's so great to see.
Yeah, it really is. Next up, the last of the back line is Jed Spence, or I say the last of the white wall is Jed Spence. And Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 9. I thought Jed Spence was incredible. This guy is such a good defender, such a great one-on-one defender. In my opinion, the best one-on-one defensive fullback that we have. And I would go as far as say he could even be the most complete fullback that we have at this football club. Every game goes by, he impresses me even more. Oscar Bob was completely locked down yesterday. And even at times when it looked like Oscar Bob was favourite to win the ball, there was Jed Spence and he just gobbled it up every single time. And nothing, absolutely nothing came down that side for us. And that is all thanks to the work rate that Jed Spence put in throughout the game. Look, I don't think we saw too much of him kind of marauding forward and providing an attacking outlet on that side, but just from a defensive standpoint, he was impenetrable.
And I think the biggest credit you can give him is we'll talk about a bit later, but the work rate Kudus put in, and Johnson I don't think put the same level of work rate in, but he didn't need to. Spence didn't need the help. He just had it all on lock. He literally didn't need Johnson tracking back because he could handle it. He could handle what was being thrown at him. Oscar Bob is a great talent, and even in moments he looked like he was looking dangerous, but he just couldn't get away from Spence. He just couldn't shake him off. It was a phenomenal defensive display from him yet again. And even going forward, I wouldn't say he was fantastic or anything. He didn't in terms of like crossing and stuff, but he just got in the position and then gave it to Johnson or gave it to someone else in a better position and just facilitated the better attacking players. So I think, going forward, it was okay. Just kept it simple in that sense. But yeah, phenomenal display. And look, I was worried when Udogie got injured. And look, he's been because he had a bad end to last season, didn't he? But he's back to his best now, isn't he, Jed?
Yeah, better than ever. Next up is João Palhinha, first start in the Premier League for Tottenham Hotspur, 9s all round. Such an incredible role he had in the team yesterday. The anchor role where he was just gobbling up everything for fun. Tijani Reyners could do absolutely nothing, and part of that was thanks to João Palhinha, the challenges that he was putting in, the aggressive nature that he was showing. He has added that extra element that we've needed to that midfield. It was way too easy at times last season just to play through the middle. And we've needed someone like João Palhinha for so long. I would even say as far as we've needed someone like that since that peak Wanyama season at the last season at White Hart Lane. And now we finally got him, João Palhinha. And, a lot of people weren't convinced about him coming into this team and does he have the passing ability that we need from that kind of player. But I was convinced that this guy is going to be phenomenal for us. A bit of worries after that first pre-season against Bayern, but since then he's just got better and better and better. And the scary thing about it is, Frank said he's not 100% yet, so God help Premier League midfields when he is.
Yeah, I think this was a real display of why we brought him in. I think these are exactly the kind of games we brought him in for.
Yeah.
When we're under the cosh a bit, or we know we're facing a team who are maybe better than us in possession, you counteract that by having someone like Paulinho, who's probably up there when he's fully fit, and when he was at Fulham, was being one of the best duel winners in the whole of Europe potentially at that point. He's unbelievable when comes into a 50-50 challenge and he's up against anyone. He's coming out on top. He's not basically pulling any punches, is he? He's not. You got no fear that he's going to pull out or not give his all in every challenge. He gives absolutely everything. And I thought yesterday, they just couldn't. They couldn't handle him, really. He was just absolutely everywhere. Every time they were building up, he's there making another challenge. Every time they're trying to build up, he's making the interception. He was there to pick up the loose ball when for the second goal as well. We obviously scored, just absolutely hammering it home. But, it's no coincidence he's high up the pitch there, because he's pressing, he's getting in their faces. He's not just sitting there like a Rodri or even like a Makaleli, where he's just sitting back in his own half and waiting for them. He's pressing them. He's getting involved in those duels, and that is why he was brought into the team. And if anyone was doubting the signing, I think this would ease anyone's doubts. But then again, what I would say is he was probably brought in for these games. It's going to be the other games where we're going to need something else. But even in those games, I think if you have him in there and maybe you get more attacking players next to him, it's going to be worth that weight in gold.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I guess the plan was to have him sitting and have Gibbs White and Maddison alongside each other in the midfield. That would have been to die for against kind of low blocks. But obviously that's not going to happen. Rodrigo Bentancur up next. Sim gives him an 8. I gave him a 9. Another stunning performance from him, really getting back to his best. Pre-injury Bentancur is what we're starting to see now, maybe even better. I thought, again, he was a massive reason why the Man City midfield just couldn't get any dominance in the central areas of the park. I thought he was always an option, so calm and composed in possession, driving us up the pitch. I thought it was a stunning performance from Rodrigo Bentancur yesterday.
Yeah, so much composure. He's really getting that composure back into his game. You can see when he's picking up the ball, he's got that awareness. He knows where people is. He's not just treating it like a hot potato. He's getting on the ball, and if he knows where he's got space to turn, he'll turn. He's not scared to do that. He's also, I think, his movement is improving so much as well. He's showing for the ball. He's moving to the space. I think he was quite crucial in our build up as well. A lot of the time, he's becoming. He's definitely showing, that player that he was under Conte, who was one of the most consistent midfielders in the Premier League at the time. I think he's been phenomenal in this game. He's been phenomenal under Frank so far. And there was another top display. And again, similar to Paulinho, getting really strong in those duels, not pulling any punches. It was another great display. And, maybe they're starting to develop a good partnership, hopefully, him and Paulinho.
They definitely are. I definitely saw that yesterday. It's something I noticed as a for sure certainty that they're flourishing in that kind of aspect. Next up is Pape Matar Sarr. 9s all round for Pape. We gave him our man the match on the watch along yesterday, and this guy is everywhere. This guy, I don't think anyone can match his work rate and his physicality. This guy is just non-stop. Even in the last moments of the game, he's marauding up the pitch. He does not get tired. I just can't believe what I'm seeing from Pape Matar Sarr at the moment. He's just getting better and better, and he is, a mainstay in this team now. And last season, at the back end of last season, people were saying, should we sell Pape Sarr? And, he's not a fully concealed starter in this team, and now he is one of the first names on the team sheet. He really is such a vital cog in everything that we do, from a defensive capability, from an offensive capability. His pressing is second to none. Obviously, pressing led to the one of the goals that we did score. This guy is phenomenal, and he's always an option as well, from a goal threat. He's a serious goal threat, and the guy just does not stop running, and he makes such an impact.
Yeah, he was brilliant. And again, playing in the number 10 position, playing a bit further forward, giving that bit more license. And he's just really excelling. He's really filling in a moment of basically, we're in a bit of a moment of need at the moment where we don't have anyone in that position. He's basically providing what a creative player would provide with his pressing, and he's using what he's got in his armoury to affect the game, and he's got a lot, and he's affecting the game wonderfully. The stats won't show that he ended with any goal or assist on the day, but he actually made both goals, didn't he?
Yeah.
He made both goals,
yeah.
And they both don't happen without him. And that, he was absolutely fantastic throughout the game. Absolutely fantastic. It was another unbelievable display. He's been brilliant in pre-season. He was brilliant against PSG. He was brilliant against Burnley, got an assist in that one, and another top display. And you know what? Once we do sign a number 10, Frank does have a big decision on his hands, doesn't he?
Yeah.
A big decision about what he does.
Yeah. I don't think you can take him out of the team. I really don't. He's the only player.
Who can you?
It's true. It's true, but that's the beauty of having all these options. You know, you want great options in all times, and maybe it'll be a case of playing Sarr when we have Champions League games, playing Sarr in the Champions League and not playing him in the Premier League, because we're going to have so many options. Like Bergvall is going to need to get his minutes as well. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. But right now, Pape Sarr is definitely one of the first names on the team sheet, in my opinion. And I was looking at the SofaScore ratings from the game yesterday. SofaScore gave him a 6.1.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Player on the pitch.
Because the stats don't incorporate the things that he was given a lot of the time.
Yeah. Let's move on to Mohamed Kudus. 8 all round for Mo. What a workman-like performance it was from Mohamed Kudus. First of all, the pressing. The pressing is just incredible. I say the pressing was second to none to Sarr, but I mean, Kudus was just as good in terms of pressing. I said it before in the match review. Like, whenever a Man City player had it, there was Mo Kudus just marauding forward like a steam train, and they shut themselves every single time they had Kudus running towards them. The work rate and the energy levels that he showed throughout the game was just, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. The defensive play, like trying to always back up Porro, always being there in defensive capability, locking down Doku, locking down Omar Mamouche at times. Like, this guy, when he has the ball, it's so hard to get the ball off him as well. It's just like, I'm so happy that we signed this guy. Like, I don't know what West Ham fans were seeing. I don't know. Maybe it was a lack of effort last year for him in a West Ham shirt or whatever. He didn't buy into the project or whatever, but he is just a phenomenal player, man. He really is.
And he's also a bit of a get out of jail free card when we're struggling our build up.
Yeah.
It's like when it seems like we've got no option, it's like Kudus just shows for it a bit and you just give off to him and he can hold off anyone, it seems. Any defender, he's not scared of holding up the ball.
Right, take it down the middle, whichever way you want to go. Kudus is there.
You can hold him off, you can spin him, and you can do it to anyone. And it's such a great kind of... We talk about safety blankets for like when Van der Ven's in the back line, but he's kind of like a safety blanket and build up. If we're struggling, we can't really find an option, just give it off to Kudus, and he can make sure that he can hang on to the ball, and that's like really fantastic. As you said, the work he put in yesterday was, especially when Doku came on, I felt like just phenomenal, like continuously helping Porro, making sure he's not alone. There was a few moments where Doku's like directly running at Porro and Kudus comes from nowhere and just barges him out of the way, wins the ball back, and all of a sudden that attack breaks down. It's just fantastic. His ability to... The amount of times you think he's second best to a ball and he just comes out with it is incredible. And that gives you so many more options. So amazing. And the amount of times as well you think, oh, he's going to lose it, and he just dribbles his way out of a situation as well. It's just so great. Look, the only thing I'd say is, like, when he got into the final third and it was, when it was his opportunity to put in a good cross or take a shot or something, that's still clearly, I don't know whether it needs work or he still needs to show his best, because you haven't seen too much of that yet. Obviously, he got 2 assists in his first game, but could have showed a bit more quality when it came to being effective in the final third. But when it comes to his physicality, his dribbling, press resistance, work rate, all been 10 out of 10 so far.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. And it's like, he's just such a box of tricks. You just don't know what he's going to do next. That's the thing. That's what's the beauty of Mohamed Kudus is. And he's such a fan favourite already, isn't he?
Yeah, everyone's loving him.
Next up is Brennan Johnson. 7s all round for Brennan. Look, I thought first half from Brennan was kind of, more of the same, not really impacting much. And but the boy's inevitable. He's absolutely inevitable. He's there at the back stick every time, pinpoint cross from Richarlison, and he's there to gobble it up and to finish it off. 2 games, 2 goals. Look, what can you say about Brennan Johnson? I did feel like in the second half he grew more in influence and he started to impact the game a bit more than what we've seen in the past. But, you could never write this boy off. You can never write him off. He's always gets on the score sheet.
And you know what, as well, for all the complaints about him not being a left winger, 2 games on the left, 2 starts on the left, 2 goals. Yeah. Like, what more can you ask for?
Yeah.
And Frank described him as a deep runner. Maybe that's his role. He's not. His role isn't to be constantly involved like Kudus. His role is when time's right, he makes the run and he gets in on the goal, and that's exactly what he did. He scored brilliant finish, great, got in position. When he found the moment, He sprinted away from Rico Lewis. I said in the preview, if I'll be tempted to start him because I feel like with Rico Lewis there tucked in, there's going to be space there if he can make the run. Exactly what he did. He made the run, found the moment, got the goal. And, I agree with you. Similar to the Burnley game as well. After he scored, it's like he grew in confidence and he started to find more areas. The only annoying thing is, in this game, he actually... there was a few times he made the run and he was played in by Richarlison, and he let himself down a couple of times. Like he could have probably had a brace yesterday, or if he did a few more of the right things. There's also a moment he had a 5-on. We had a 5-on-4 in the box. An assist, yeah. He's got to be crossing it, or if he's shooting, you got to make sure it's on target and we're getting a rebound or something. So
I don't know if you saw, but Frank was absolutely fuming at that moment.
Yeah, because Frank's all about decisions, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's all about optimizing your XG in a chance, and he would have known that shooting from that position wouldn't have. That's not what he would have been telling the players to do. So that was that was a very frustrating moment. But what I liked about him is he was constant, especially when City were pushing forward a bit more. He was constantly making that run and actually making those really good runs, being in those really good positions. He'll probably be a bit frustrated he didn't create 2 more goal-scoring chances out of the moments he had, because there was especially one moment he took a heavy touch and a better touch and he's in on goal and he's 1-on-1 with the keeper. So he'll be frustrated with that. But look, he got the goal, and what more can I say? What can't really complain too much about it. It's just Frank seems to getting him in that position. He's doing well there for all of us saying he was not a left winger.
Yeah, it's such an invaluable thing to have in the squad, just someone that can just always pop up with a goal, regardless of the level of performance. It's just so invaluable. Let's move on to the last of the starting 11, which is Richarlison, our number 9, and Sim gives him a 9. I gave him an 8. Maybe I was a bit harsh there, to be honest, with an 8, but heavy hand in both the goals that we did score. First one with a pinpoint ball into Brennan Johnson. The second one was just him being his usual pest, an absolute... Richarlison is a pest. That's all he is. He must be so annoying to play against because he's always there. He's always being aggressive. He's always putting his body in the way. And this level of performance that we're seeing from him now, since Thomas Frank has come in, since that PSG game, is just phenomenal. And I always thought Richarlison was a good player, but I never thought he was this good. And in these last 3 games, I think he's proved a lot of people wrong in terms of the level, just the sheer levels of performances, the goal contributions, 2 goals in his first game, 1 assist where, you can pretty much account the second assist. I know didn't come directly off him, but he buys that and he makes that happen. So, he's always just causing a nuisance of himself.
Yeah, and the amount of times as well he won the ball in their half, just with his sheer pressing. I think we're seeing a new level of physicality from Rishi that we haven't seen in a Tottenham shirt, in terms of sharpness, in terms of strength. He seems a lot stronger than he was beforehand, and he seems faster. He seems like he's gained the yard somehow. I don't know how he's done it, but he seems sharper, faster. He seems healthier. He just seems more confident as well. This is a side or a level of performance from Richard we haven't seen in the number 9 since he's come to Tottenham, just in terms of his all-round game. Obviously he went through that period where he scored loads of goals, but in terms of just his all-round game, that level of performance, we're seeing Rishi playing at a new level at the moment, and I'm really delighted for him, because I've just read an interview from him and he said he's talking in the Independent. He was saying, every year when the transfer window opens, my name always comes up and people always say I'm leaving, but I've never wanted to leave. I've always wanted to stay, and I told that to Frank in my first meeting with him, that I've got no intention of leaving. I'm always linked to Brazil, he said, and I've never wanted to go back there. I've always wanted to make it work at Tottenham. And, and he's constantly being told by the fans, you should leave, you're injury prone, all this kind of stuff. So, look, we've still got a long way to go when it comes to him not being proving he's not injury prone, but right now, I'm just delighted for him that he's going for a really good period. He's feeling the love. He's playing with a newfound confidence and newfound energy, and he's playing brilliantly. And he's scoring goals. He got an assist in this one, brilliant assist as well. If he keeps this up, who knows what he can achieve this season?
Yeah, if he keeps this up, he will be Brazil's number 9 going into the World Cup for sure. And I would even go as far as to say, this form, I know it's better now, but it goes back to that Europa League run towards the back end of last season, because he was so vital for us in those few games as well, and now he's just taking it on to a new level. Let's finish off talking about Thomas Frank. Sim gave him a 9. I gave him a big fat 10. There were no flaws in his management yesterday whatsoever. I had to give him a 10. I thought from the setup, it threw a curveball out there, not going 5 at the back. I'm sure Pep would have thought that Spurs would have gone 5 at the back yesterday. We went for it at the back. You know, I disagreed with it. I thought we should have gone 5 at the back, and I was proved completely wrong. Every facet of the game I thought was pretty near perfect, from the defensive to the midfield to the forward line. I thought there were no flaws in it whatsoever. The game plan worked down to a T. The setup was incredible. We won the midfield battle, which a lot of people were worried about before the game, going up against that Man City midfield 3. We were so aggressive. We were the better side on the day, completely deserved the win. And I thought the changes as well, the substitutes were absolutely perfect, where all of them came on and actually made an impact. I thought Odegaard came on and looked sharp and looked good, with that header at the back stick. Maybe he should have just volleyed it or something. I don't think he was ever going to score with a header from there, but he was causing himself a threat. And Dom Solanke looked sharp when he came on as well. So I thought the subs were perfect. The game plan was perfect. Everything was perfect.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was phenomenal game management.
Why not a 10, man?
Just because it was only 2-0. We won 4-0 there last year. No, but look, maybe it could have been a 10, but I gave him a 9 just because, we could have killed the game maybe. I don't know. It's not really his fault, I guess. But I do think his game management was absolutely spot on. It was phenomenal. And it has, in the last 2 games, it has been brilliant. The way we, as well, managed the game at 2-0 up, that second half was absolutely... I thought we were exceptional in that second half. The way we pressed them when we needed to press them, we were on top of them. We were relentless. We never basically gave up on that press. We were absolutely phenomenal. We defended when we needed to defend. We attacked when we needed to attack. We exploited the space. We were compact. We were breaking up their play. But we were brave as well. It wasn't just like it wasn't a part of the bus job at all. No. We were pressing them. We were pressing high. We were pressing aggressively. We were forcing them, even at 2-0. Yeah, we're 2-0 up, but we're forcing them into mistakes in their back line. You got Trafford playing out of play. You got their defenders playing out of play because they're just being constantly hounded by such an intense press. It was absolutely fantastic absolutely fantastic from Thomas Frank, and I completely agree with you. The subs were great as well. Absolutely fantastic. I think each of them made an impact. I think I'm just been so impressed by his in-game management so far. I really have. So fair play to him, and brilliant performance, brilliant result, and brilliant management from Thomas Frank.
Yeah. Who's in the chat says Sim describing exactly why Frank should have got a 10.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, maybe should have got a 10.
All right. Well, that is it. That is a player rating from a phenomenal performance from Tottenham Hotspur at the Etihad. 2-0 win. And once again, Spurs go and take points from Manchester City. Let's move on and let's go and think about what 5 things we took away from that fantastic game yesterday. And first up is Sar's lying stats.
Yeah, because if you look at Sar's stats yesterday, obviously he made both goals, but he didn't get a goal, he didn't get an assist, and maybe if you didn't watch the game, you'd have thought, oh, did he have a poor game? If you're just looking at his stats, was he actually, was he a bit anonymous? Was he doing anything? But both goals don't happen if it wasn't for him. Mm-hmm. And he pretty much made both goals. Brilliant flick on to Richie for the first. Brilliant pressing for the second, which led to the goal. It's another phenomenal performance from him. Playing in this new little role he's got kind of closer to goal in the 10. I think he's really adapting to it fantastically. I think Sar's stats, lied in this one.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely lied. And, take it back to the Burnley game as well. He had his hand in 2 of the goals that we scored in that game as well. So phenomenal performances from Pape Matar. He's getting better and better. Work rate is phenomenal. Ability and quality is absolutely phenomenal as well. I'm so happy we've got this guy. And we got to thank Don Paratici for that one.
Yeah.
Number 2 is Workhorse Kudus.
Yeah, and he was putting an absolute shift yesterday. It wasn't just, obviously, he had a decent game on the ball, completed 3 out of 6 dribbles and created and had 1 key pass as well. So he obviously had his value on the ball, but off the ball is where I think he really made his money yesterday. Won 7 of his 11 ground duels, 6 recoveries as well in the middle of the park. and won 2 of his 3 tackles which he attempted. So he really did put in a massive shift yesterday, Mohamed Kudus, and he really put in the hard yards. And that look how many duels he competed with and won 7 of 11. Fantastic.
And with Mohamed Kudus, before we signed him, what I was really excited about with Mohamed Kudus is his one-on-one dribbling, his attacking output, getting goals and assists, and just being sheer relentless from that area. I didn't really factor into my mind what he's going to be like from this aspect of the game, and it's just blown me away of how good he actually is, how hard he actually works for the team, and what impact he's having from a defensive standpoint. It's like, is there a better defensive winger in the league than Kudus at this moment in time?
At the moment, probably in the first few games, definitely not. He literally, and also the amount of hold up play he does as well. He does such a great job for the team, and proper workhorse performance yesterday from him.
Absolutely. Number 3 is Spurs' pressing.
Yeah, and obviously it was. If you watch the game, you see how effectively you press them. We see how City really struggled to kind of handle our pressing because it was so intense, it was so aggressive. But there are numbers to back that up as well. Spurs yesterday made 6 tackles in the attacking third, which is more than any team managed against City in the whole of last season. So no one managed more than 6. And in fact, in the past 4 seasons, only 3 times has someone made someone been able to tackle Man City in their own third more than 6 times.
Wow.
Or 6 or more times.
Wow.
And one of them was Brentford back in 21-22. The other ones were Arsenal a couple years ago and Brighton 4 years ago. So it's not often that any team is able to make this amount of tackles in the attacking third against Man City, and that shows how effective and how aggressive our press really was against them yesterday.
Yeah, and just judging, not even looking at the stats, just judging by the eye test, I felt like they were so worried every time Kudus were running at them, Sarr was running at them, Richarlison was running at them. I mean, hunting in packs, the way we were pressing I haven't seen us press like that in a very long time, and it was a joy to behold. Long may it continue. And I was about to say bigger test yet to come, but this is like one of the biggest tests that we can have this season.
Yeah, it's true.
Man City.
Don't know how many much harder tests are yet to come.
Yeah. But let's move on to number 4, and it's happened again.
It's happened again. It's happened again. Spurs, their last 5 visits to the Etihad now, 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 defeat, which is absolutely crazy when you think about how hard it is to go to the Etihad and win any game, like how difficult. Has Arteta ever won at the Etihad? I don't think so.
Arteta? Nah.
I don't think so. I don't think he's ever won.
And just
exactly. They celebrate 0-0s, don't they? So, it's phenomenal run of results we have there. The aggregate score of those last 5 games is 14-9 to Tottenham as well. And we've just done it to them again. And that record at the Etihad just keeps on going.
Yeah. I think the stat yesterday, I'm not sure if it was before the game or after the game, that Pep Guardiola has lost to Spurs the second amount to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was before the game or after the game, but it was 9.
9, yeah, I think the Liverpool 10 and Tottenham 9, yeah.
Was that before the game or after the game?
Can't remember.
Either way, it's bloody impressive. There's just some sort of hoodoo over Pep Guardiola and Tottenham Hotspur where we just keep we're talking about one of, if not the greatest manager of all time here, and we just keep beating him like it's nothing.
And he's been trailing. I read that as well. Pep has trailed by 2 or more goals at half time only 6 times in his whole Man City tenure. And 3 of those is Tottenham. It's just mad, isn't it? It's crazy.
Mad. It is mad. So to see Spurs, how they just make light work of City. But I feel like this one seemed a bit different to the other City wins that we've had. I felt like this time Man City barely troubled us, whereas at times we need to sit in a bit and soak up the pressure. We didn't really have too much pressure to soak up yesterday. I thought the way that the midfield dealt with it was just incredible, and that was a big part of why we didn't have that onslaught from Man City, which we usually have. Where I think this was our most complete performance against Man City that I've seen, like this kind of Man City.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah.
Last but not least, clean sheets.
Yeah, and look, we've heard it's been a running theme, isn't it? When you've heard players speak about what Thomas Frank's looking for this season, they've all said there's been a big focus on clean sheets, and there's been a big focus on making sure we're keeping them regular clean sheets. And now we've kept back-to-back clean sheets for the first time since February, when we beat Brentford 2-0, we beat Man United 1-0. And we're actually a third of the way through of our whole clean sheet total of last season. So we kept 2 already this season, and we kept 6 the whole of last season. Wow. So, yeah, on our way to probably smashing that clean sheet record. And yeah, I think we're already seeing that focus on clean sheets paying off, I think.
Yeah, and it's just incredible. I mean, I keep saying it in every match review so far, the PSG, Burnley, and Manchester City now, where the goalkeeper just doesn't have much to do. And that's a testament to the way Frank has got us set up. It's a testament as well to the work rate of the players that they're putting in on the pitch at the moment. We just seem like such an aggressive team, not a soft touch whatsoever, where the last couple of years we've just seemed like such a soft touch, particularly through the middle of the park. And that's just all seemed to have evaporated already, only 2 games into the Premier League. So, yeah, good things to come. Good things have come. And I'm very excited to see how this Frank era unfolds.
Absolutely.
So that is our 5 takeaways. Those are the 5 things we did learn from the game yesterday. And we're going to finish off seeing how the internet did react to the game yesterday. And I'm just going to load it up here for you 1 second. And I feel like this could be a long one.
Oh, for sure. There's a lot to react to.
So first up, this was a screenshot from our video yesterday. This is Amir celebrating, obviously, in the away end yesterday, while they're seeing Brennan Johnson again. And just look at Johnson's dad in the background.
Yeah,
so
spotted.
That guy right over the shoulder of Amir is Brennan Johnson's dad. And he is just so, look at that. You could just looking at the picture, you could just see how proud he is, just beaming off the screen.
He wasn't charming, though. Why wasn't he charming? But yeah, look, you can see he's got a massive smile on his face. He's loving life. And it was great to capture that moment. I didn't even realise that Brendan Johnson's dad was sitting right behind us. But the whole awareness chanting Johnson again, ole, ole, and there's his dad just soaking it all in and just feeling that pride for his son. It's great to capture that, and it's good to see. So, yeah, that was a good moment there yesterday.
Yeah, you understand as well, like, as much as, he's feeling the love for his son, which he actually is, but it's a testament to them as well, because the parents put so much effort and work in their whole lives to get their kids to where they are at this moment.
Sounds like Ange.
No, but they do. So, so credit to him. Credit to him. Spurs Army, this is Richarlison. Richarlison loves stealing other people's Man of the Match awards.
He's not the first time he's done it, is he? He doesn't get Man of the Match, but he just will always get a picture with the Man of the Match award. It doesn't matter who won it. So, look, to be fair, he was probably in the running, but yeah, Sarr wins it on the day.
Yeah.
The classic Rishi, though.
Due says, so Spurs can Lil Bro City every time except the one game we needed them to.
Phenomenal.
I got a message last night and they were like, you literally have City's number every time. There is no chance you didn't throw that game.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And I'm still delighted we did.
Digital Spurs says, all the fired Spurs managers watching a new Tottenham coach batter Man City.
All beyond the grave. Fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal.
Last night, Sonny scored his first goal for LAFC, an unbelievable free kick like 5 minutes into the game. Just look at this free kick. Why was he never on free kicks for us, man?
That's the question when you watch it. And for South Korea as well, he's always banging in the free kicks.
But we kept banging on about it.
He literally never took a free kick for us. I don't know why. It was always someone else. So
even Dyer at times, what I mean?
It's a bit annoying watching. It's kind of annoying. I mean, it's great. I'm delighted for him, but it's kind of annoying watching him banging a free kick. Like, why did he never take one for us?
That's unstoppable, that free kick, no matter what goalkeeper's in goal.
Yeah, phenomenal strike from Sonny.
Billy T saying, people still questioning the Don's legacy. He built the spine brick by brick. And that's Cuti Romero. That is Rodrigo Bentancur and Pat Matasar. It's so true, man. Like, those few transfer windows when we had the Don is literally the bedrock of this team.
Yeah, you got a doggy there as well, who's obviously injured at the moment, but he's going to be obviously a big player for us. There was Spence, that was the Don, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Spence was. So he done a good job. Is he coming back or what? We get when he's back, but is he back?
He was literally at Chelsea the other day.
I know, but he's not officially back, is he?
No, apparently not.
But when is he officially back?
The Don has always been here.
They have to announce him with the Godfather music.
Definitely. Next up, Clinical Bergval saying Bentancur and Paulinho every game.
Yeah, it's getting that kind of vibes. It's getting
It
vibes.
is getting
But what, Bentancur is more Dembele?
Yeah,
I don't know.
sure.
Yeah, I'm
For sure.
not sure about how I feel about that comparison, but
When it's all said and done, you'll feel very good about that comparison. Lauren Coys says, a beautiful Saturday to be Coys. So this is Paulinho, 2-0, and the women's team did
lovely.
4-3 against high-flying Arsenal. And
Away, away from home.
Yeah, I've got a funny story about this yesterday, actually. So they played at Boreham Wood, this game. And I had no clue that the game was going on. And I dropped Vinny home at Boreham Wood yesterday. Obviously, he lives very close to the Boreham Wood Stadium. And as I dropped him off, I just see loads of Arsenal fans everywhere. So after I dropped Vinny on, I drove back and drove past the stadium. I wound down my windows and I put on Glory, Glory Tottenham at full blast, not knowing that they played Tottenham that day. Had no clue.
And then they won.
Had no clue that they played Tottenham. I just thought, yeah, loads of Arsenal fans. I'm going to wind down my windows and put Spurs songs on at full blast. And all these Arsenal fans are just looking at me with like angry looks on their faces, and like I was proper winding them up. And then later on that night, I go, oh shit, Spurs beat them 4-3 in the women's game. And I was literally outside the stadium blaring Spurs songs.
Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. That is great.
Oh, man. All right.
Paulinho.
Yeah. Paulinho stats against Man City: 1 goal, 21 out of 26 accurate passes, 1 block, 2 clearances, 1 headed clearance, 2 ball recoveries, 6 out of 10 ground duels, 2 out of 2 aerial duels won, and 1 foul one. Absolutely immense.
Yeah, and it's those duels, really, isn't it? You know, high percentage, high volume. That is what you pay your money for. And obviously you got the goal as well. I mean, people gloss over that, but look, that was the kind of performance we expect that we saw from him at Fulham.
But as well, 100%. But that's as well how you know how phenomenal the performance was when he actually scored the goal, and nobody's talking about that.
Yeah, it doesn't it's not even factoring into people's praise of him.
Yeah. Mohamed Kudus's games by numbers was 1 chance created, 3 out of 5 successful dribbles, 2 out of 3 tackles won, 6 ball recoveries, 7 out of 11 ground duels, and 1 foul won as well. Quite low for him, 1 foul one, actually.
Yeah, he'll probably want more next time. But look, he was a proper workman-like performance from Kudus. He really put in a proper shift. But he also, on the ball, he provided as well the quality he needed to. So, yeah, great. Absolutely brilliant. What a brilliant start to life he's had at Tottenham.
Yeah, phenomenal. Next up, this is Jed Spence on social media after the game. I love this from Jed. His confidence is just, he's just skyrocket. He put on Instagram saying, bring me your favourite winger.
Hashtag Godspeed. Brilliant.
Oh, mate. And there's a comment here from Rush saying he knows the penitentiary is growing.
Oh, absolutely. God, no one's ever getting out of that penitentiary.
Mate, Jed Spence, what a guy. Thomas Frank, a quote from him after the game saying, I'm falling in love with this club.
Oh, I'd love to hear
We're all
it.
falling in love with you, mate.
I think that's absolutely spot on.
Spurs OTM.
Classic. Walking our dog yesterday.
How many times have we seen this with Spurs and Man City's?
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
So every time we bounce, bring that old meme back.
Come on.
Brian Daigle says, just asking West Ham fans, you got any more lazy, selfish and shit players that you're trying to shift? Because judging by this one, we'll gladly keep robbing you blind.
Paqueta next.
Squawker saying, no Tottenham player has 1 more duels, which is 13, 1 more possession, 9, 1 more tackles, 4 in the first 2 Premier League games, and Pape Matas Sarr. Just look at that heat map.
Wow, that's his season heat map so far.
And
literally
that's why I keep saying every blade of grass.
Literally everywhere. That's crazy. It's so concentrated in such big areas. It's mental.
Yeah. Out of context, Tottenham saying every time we need to score a goal. Yep, I'm waiting at the back post for a tap-in.
Back post, Brandon. Doesn't matter what side of the pitch he starts on. He's always out that back post.
He's inevitable, Brennan. He's inevitable. João Paulinho with a quote from him after the game yesterday, and he says, the coach pushed me to come here. He showed me the project he has here at Tottenham. I'm so happy here. I just want to enjoy this top club. The Frank Paul, people. The Frank Paul. Unmatched.
Fantastic. Yeah, look, he's he's come in, he's motivated, like proving a lot of people wrong. It looks like.
Yeah.
Would you pay the release clause now? Pay it now?
I don't know if I'll
bit.
pay it now. 25 million is obviously, with this level of performance, is pennies, to be honest. I would. I would.
Pay it.
Pay it now. Pay double.
Pay double. Give him an extra few million as a nice tip.
Apollo says, move, man. Look at this from Mohamed Kudus on Rangers.
And this is what I mean about a ball you might think like he's second best for, but he's just got that physicality where even though he's second best, he comes out on top. And not only did he come out on top, look, he all of a sudden win possession and now on the attack when a lot of other players maybe, they win the header there and all of a sudden you're defending. So that's the difference Kudus can make in those little moments.
This is what I was talking about before. This is exactly why you should never trust SofaScore nerds. Pape Matar had the lowest rating of any Spurs player on the pitch, and he was given everyone's man of the match yesterday.
He made both goals, but he doesn't get an assist for it. So, yeah, that's why it's crazy. I agree.
And Tottenham tweeted this out saying Pape was everywhere today, and there's him with that big smile. He's got such an infectious smile, Pape, with that Player of the Match award.
Yeah, fantastic and fully deserved.
Kuti Romero on Instagram says a massive win away from home. This is only the beginning, and we've got to keep working. But this is the right path. All together, always Spurs official. I mean, he's been saying that for a year.
This is the right path.
This is the right path. But I would say that Romero has looked the happiest he's ever been at Spurs, in my opinion. And it's not just since he's been given the armband as well. I think before even in pre-season, I thought he looked really happy. And it's just something I've been noticing from Kuti Romero. And obviously he signed the contract, so that's testament to it.
Yeah, he seems to be loving life under Frank, to be fair. So, I'm delighted. And the Kuti that we're seeing on the pitch as well is a brilliant Kuti. If we go on this, if Kuti's going to play like that every week, he's up there. We know he's up there with the best centre-backs in the league.
Yeah. Paulinho is fully poised. Loved that celebration yesterday. Very reminiscent of Gareth Bale.
Pulls out the Bale celebration. Are we going to get 26 goals from him this year?
You never know. You never know. This one was hilarious yesterday. So the night that they got the Here We Go Arsenal fans went to the Emirates and they painted a mural of Eberechi Eze. And the night before his unveiling, some Spurs fans went down to the Emirates and painted over the mural.
Absolutely. He can do one. Paint over it again. Fantastic.
You know what I mean? We should never let this mural rest. Just keep painting over it. Whoever it was, great jobs. Top shithousery there.
We should paint a Europa League trophy on top of it. That's what we should do.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much the only European trophy they'll see at the Emirates.
Exactly. It's the closest I'll get to one.
We're doing charitable work if we did that. Such a satisfying photo. The whole away end still packed, and the Man City Stadium completely empty. The empty had.
Fantastic. Yeah, that was obviously a great moment yesterday. It was so great being in that away end. Like the fans were in top form, and really silent to home crowd as well.
So when was that? Like, how long after the final whistle was that?
Well, the players are going over, so it must have been kind of been too long after.
How long after the final whistle were you still in the stadium for, or not long?
Between 5 and 10 minutes. I think we're pretty much out of there, like 10 minutes after the game.
Next up, Madders has been active on social media. This Madders, since his injury, he's become a YouTuber. He's never stopped posting on social media. He's got a lot of time on his hands, unfortunately. And on Johnson's post, he says, Johnson again, imagine my shock. And the next one, on Pape's post, he says, my number 10.
Fantastic.
Might struggle to get back in the team with Pape in this form.
Interesting.
Look at this challenge as well from João Palhinha in the game yesterday.
Yeah, this is what I meant about the players yesterday throwing. We saw it in it, didn't we? The training drill of them throwing their body right in the way of the shots. And we're really seeing it in action in these clips. And that's what I mean. Like, Vicario didn't have too much work because this is what the players were doing constantly, just throwing their bodies on the line, making sure that if they're going to get a shot off, you're going to have to beat a flying player, basically, which is flying directly towards you.
And another example of that was this Mickey van der Ven challenge on Phil Foden yesterday, which was just
phenomenal.
Sublime. SZY Comps brought us this after the game yesterday. Savinho, recently following Pedro Porro. Are we reading anything into that?
Noticing. Well, Porro, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe at something. Why only Porro though?
Why not? Maybe.
I noticed by the way, Porro did the team talk again.
Yeah, he did
before the game.
Yeah.
Interesting enough. Well, look, maybe they're friends. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe Porro's in his ear, like, just follow me and get this deal done.
Yeah, I think Porro's going to be in the leadership group, isn't he?
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Expressions, big up X. He quotes this. He's screenshot this tweet from Booby saying, "This lineup is scary for the Premier League. Oh my god!" And this must have been prior to kickoff.
Yeah, not for us though. Not for us. Well, Booby also did say it is a quote retweet saying Guardiola far too casual with his team selection and decisions making last season. Edison has to be in goal until a world-class keeper comes in. So he's gone from this lineup is scary to Guardiola was far too casual with his selection.
Make it make sense, people. So the next one is the Jed Spence thing again. This one, simply Spurs. God, inject this into my veins, people. First of all, that Kudos celebration was brilliant. I can watch that on repeat all over again. But we're going into bank holiday weekend. Yes, I know it's only 2 games played, but Spurs sitting top of the league. Well, are we still top of the? No, Arsenal are top of the league now. But anyway, joint top of the league, and West Ham rooted to the bottom, and heaps of problems down in East London.
That is the face of a man who's just dodged a relegation battle.
Yeah.
He's over the moon, isn't he? Absolutely over the moon.
Pape Sarr on social media last night with his Player of the Match award. Love to see it.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, big up Pape.
Big up Pape.
Tottenham Joe, just bringing us that Kudos celebration again. Let's bring that up on beer. I can see that all over again.
Fantastic. I love that.
He is loving life at Tottenham, Mohamed Kudus.
Yeah, brilliant start to life at Spurs.
This one says, imagine Madders and Decky are both starting and pull out a hat-trick. What was that in reply to?
That was in reply, I don't know. In reply to me posting that I was in Madders' vlog. I don't know. Something else. And
yeah, that's it. That is it from how the internet did react to the game yesterday. Some brilliant reactions in there. So big up to everyone that we've read out their tweets. And big up to all of you guys in the comment section as well. Is there any the super chat? Did I read that one?
Me too.
Yeah, I did read that one. All right, cool. That is it from us today, people. We'll be back tomorrow and maybe even a bit later if any transfer news breaks, because...
Wouldn't write it off.
8 days to go, people. We're going to have to start making moves soon.
Now's the time.
Yeah. Last week was the time. The week before was the time.
Well, now's really the time.
But now's really the time. It's last chance saloon now. So let's do it. But thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We'll see you all very soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.